喂，係。 團戰坑掉一掉出嚟，有咩又好啊？一邊玩 fusion 一邊打團戰，刷太晶啊！啲火太晶全部用晒啦已經。個 game 聲好似有 bug 咗，但係佢係入戰嗰陣時係有 BGM 嘅，但係會依家啲城市呢啲乜都冇啊！啱已經搞一陣啦，都搞唔掂。咁發生咗咩事呢？咁其實我依家就已經玩咗，琴日已經玩咗一段時間㗎啦。見到 level 同前日直播嗰陣時個 level 都已經差好遠啦。好啦，咁我哋就要介紹下個 member 先啦。咁就有呢個什麼的列里龍啦，啦同個 description 個圖係一模一樣嘅，但係呢，到後面嗰啲呢，我就要控訴一下個網有少少 fake 啦。事關係咁嘅，你見到呢，呢隻其實係呢個仙衣同埋奇異花合體啦。你睇唔睇下網上個圖啊？差幾遠？屌你老，屌你啊！真係。喂，你睇下呢幅圖，你睇下呢兩隻，我原本 expect 係呢兩個樣噶嘛，你走一隻咁撚樣嘅嘢出嚟俾我吹脹啊，大佬！然後隻烈亞綠沙又係呢個流氓惡同埋烈亞綠沙合體啦，咁然後你再睇睇個網，喂大佬差好遠好吧？我想要呢隻喎，我想要呢隻，我想要呢個左手邊呢隻喎，我好想要佢喎，呢隻個樣型好多喎。搞唔掂喎呢個喎，俾佢逼咗，搞到好期待啊！好啊，係咁多啊，呢個屌嘢係咁多。好啊，然後呢，呢兩隻交通工具嚟嘅，最後仲有一個 slot 唔知擺咩好。人聲好似太細，推高啲先。人聲咁樣有冇大聲啲啊？叫做 tune 嗰下有冇大聲咗？OK，聽到，好，咁繼續啦。一邊睇下點樣研究下點樣，一邊玩呢個 fusion 一邊打團戰啊，去刮下啲太正坑先。火太幾好幾好。咁我依家去邊啊？我打完呢個什麼啊？呢個我依家係咪我打完火箭隊，火箭兵團應該打完，咁我應該去打嗰個道館，唔知去打道館先。依家一手控啲 switch，一手控部電腦，勁開心，超正。算我去咗個太正坑嗰度先啦。係啦，我都差唔多啦。水火草、飛龍、降妖鬼差唔多。我想刷到每個500個啊，好難刷，但係要嘥好多時間啊。好，趁過動畫嘅時候就繼續玩。好，好似捉到個節奏啦已經。毒都少用，係啊，毒都少用啊。道館。 仲有條友喺度嘅，想買嘢 buy 乜嘢啊？元氣粉唔要啊，唔食藥嘅，唔食藥嘅，好似之前打道館都食咗好多添。早晨啊，Cindy。喂，個訓練家慢嘅喎，你睇我唔到嘅。大聲！哇，炸到就嚟龍啊，大佬！一入戰就突然有聲啦，好鬼乞人憎。Sorry，game 聲暴擊。依家會唔會細聲咗啊？已經，定係廢㗎啱做嗰啲係。都係咁，再拉細聲啲先。50點咋？咁少嘅？你係咪隔音㗎？外力，哇幾型喎呢隻，其實 OK 嘅喎隻外力。我地獄翻滾。OK，now OK 就得啦。喂，點解隻吉利打太火吉利蛋食我加4水榴蓮打都唔死嘅？吉拉，不如幾得意喎！我換隻奇異花出嚟先。異波俾我 CT 死咗。冇心嘅，唔小心 crit 咗。what？ 好鬼正喎呢隻嘢！換翻佢手法先。打完個太晶坑，哇！真係有個太晶護符喺度，個獎勵豐富咗好多，勁開心。呢隻 Fusion 好似冇乜連機啊，我記得。而家連機就開心喎。喂，啲阿婆哋撩我打交嘅。阿婆係咪想諷刺啊？哇！鬼地喎，好型喎！鬼地喎，冇嘢打得入喎，但係越爆推死佢㗎。Airline Switch， 你單打 Airline Switch 做乜鬼？我呢個坑要爬山，海鬼，我梗鬼同海獅喎，我頂啊！好似中咗邪咁喎呢隻嘢。等我撳開個團戰先。我依家想食個水系飯都冇得，我食水系好似仲有一餐定唔知幾多，但係依家火系飯完全冇得食啦！依家我前兩日直播嗰隻星星個太晶熟都仲係太草都未搞，快唔掂我對面快過咁多嘅。越爆喎，呢個越爆個力度會唔會差一啲？拍個藥先。全服藥，等你食個紅水。撳個。 K.M. 你嗰隻月紅係肚皮股，然後你見撞到鬼係有一下地招拍落佢塊面度，呢都得嘅。哇哇！即係完全 upside down 咗喎，咩事啊？個樣好型喎，但係草超能吧？定有毒係啊？哦，升咧！哇！都搞啲咁嘅嘢。魔香君，呢個我唔係好中意佢嘅手，佢好似有眼球喺度咁樣，我唔中意。跟住等開盾。啲又翻咗去個阿婆度嘅，啲又翻咗嚟，呢個雙打嚟喎。即大外獸同埋白海獅合體，好似都似模似樣喎，幾好啊，幾好幾好。但隔離嗰隻就個人唔太中意。地震震唔死吧？咬碎啊，好似都咬唔入，咬碎咗都係。死咗咧？冇妖冇妖精係嘅咩？呢隻嘢合咗體之後。喂，咁硬嘅？喂，唔啱劇本喎，咁硬嘅。哎呀，我又落錯個位添。喂，點解吉利蛋仲未死㗎？啊，幸福蛋疏，咁快到牙枝嗰度啊？先有副好，打交。喂，點解吉利蛋？點解幸福蛋條血北咗啊？仲係電唔死？confirm 死咋？佢就咁俾超怪食緊煙，唔捉嘅。哇！一鋪成長成20幾個水太精，正！呢場咩嚟㗎？好樣衰啊！個阿伯做乜生咗咁多毛出嚟啊？阿伯啲月爆好勢力啊，大佬！我草妖嚟嗰啲，點解月爆咁勢力嘅？K.M. 喺度啊？你隻月紅嘅肚皮股係遺傳㗎，定係自己識㗎？哦，遺傳㗎，哇，好麻煩。喂，做咩又食藥啊？唔好阻住我得唔得？我知模仿緊草，但係邊隻啊？邊隻有肚皮股啊？之前遺傳過一隻肚皮股，但係唔記得去邊度。 啊，咁錯勢，哎呀，我唔想升呢啦，我唔想升呢，我想推爆佢就算啦。避磅水套都得 ，OK。啱吹完粉唔中啊！哦，仲鬼計咗添喎！啊咁都唔死啊！我犀利喎！我記種先，哦，搞個遺傳先。水套啊，水套，第水套咧，啊我揾到唔需要嘅水套。死咗死咗呢場，本係月包咁細力去死啊！大佬，你忽吞兵太大力啊，好似忽吞兵太大力。等我先要查少少嘢先。喂，仲未死啊？仲吊住條命咁頑強嘅？不過死咗都，咁就換隻列亞六沙出去推隊啦。一招地震，我係漂浮嘅呢隻。哇！好痛好痛好痛！哇！仲降埋特防嘅，係咪咁都 head 我吧？啊！好衰。幾好，去搶咗隻路邊隻卡比獸兩個剩飯嚟用。哇，好惡喎！呢隻太陽衣背，即係究竟叫月衣背好定太陽衣背好啊？我唔知喎。鐵掌律師。咩啊？外地咬碎咬碎咬死啊！應該。打贏咗都幾好。搞緊團戰嗰啲嘢，跟住又殺咗個動物館主啊，幾好，幾超。然後去野餐。一沼澤徽章嘅，打完咯。咁下一個道館應該係紅蓮島吧？得。佢出面呢度冇 game 聲，真係差啲。 係我尋日發現原來呢隻 game 係有得開加速㗎。啱啱唔記得開加速添。好啦，紅蓮島點去呢？呢度有碼頭。你要衝浪喎，冇衝浪喎，點睇？我記得小麥好似送咗隻貝貝龍俾我嘅。貝貝龍，喺度貝貝龍。草水。哇！你冇衝浪嘅送俾我有條鐵用啊！佢間做錯嘢，我唔記得洗咗月紅椒記添。我仲要去睇下個衝浪喺邊度拎。好煩啊！咁我睇下我睇下點樣，我睇下今日部 Switch 有冇 game 聲先，一係我直播團戰咯，猛啊！我抄翻個咩出嚟先？好，俾翻呢個畫面出嚟先，又對翻部 Switch 入去。有冇 game 聲啊？齋打條好似又有啲悶喎，基本上我又要揾個衝浪嘅，啲我唔想揾。係咯，索性直播團戰，好悶啊！真係。OK， 學咗啦，收翻。 打水團戰啦，啱啱水俾你打啦。算啦，借抽算啦，下一次先。等等，好 OK，我褪翻出嚟。食咗水飯，好啊，食咗水飯。好懶啊，我唔想食飯啊，次次又要走去食個三文治，好煩。次次都要走去食個三文治先開得拖。見到個曲佢係自己入嚟啦。呢部嘢好似唔食版權，播咩唔食版權？但係縮到好鬼細粒，佢就唔會捉鬼我。疏睇唔到，對唔住。來，睇下咩唔會俾人捉版權先，睇喜羊羊好唔好咧？個團戰好鬼悶喎，我又唔想打，你準備打 SD？ 打 SD 攰啊，今日唔想打。點啊？我哋邊個 BB？ 係咪你嗰個快啲啊？快啲！哇，幾好人，佢就係前嗰度先喎。好啦，佢爆開咗啦。周圍行下街咯，睇下會唔會出事喎，出事都開心。有幾多先？14、15、19、19粒，即係19粒。算啦，差唔多，理得佢。OK， 太精，開心，都太精。改一改標題先。下一個目的地係我拉翻大啲個網先，我睇唔到。格鬥唔要啦，太濃啦，太濃好啊！但係近我見到嗰邊有大火，係火坑。 啱講火啊，好似變咗第二樣嘢添。我打唔打定係刷完水先啊？開個曲出嚟，想入就入咯。我未啊！刷完水先。哦，好，咁我自己打完先。OK。幾好。如果咁樣都場場跌20個嘅話，咁即係刷25場就夠500個啦。哇，好快啊！超正。雖然龍太精應該常會應該刷嘅佢，妖都龍同妖都少喎其實。地飛算啦，窮到窿啊！我水火草。哇！呢排 World Cup 真係搶資源搶得好犀利。嗰隻火鋼，我嘅明玉火鋼仲未調好，上個禮拜用嗰隻係剩飯替身火鋼嚟嘅，仲未調好，諗住直接練過隻先啦。算啦，仲要因為我要洗翻同一隻嘅努力值嘅話，我唔想再淨空樹啊！淨空樹你本身已經抌咗啲努力值落去。佢抌咗錢落去，跟住仲要一次過洗晒，我覺得好戇鳩啊！等於嘥晒資源。 打唔死嘅，哦，應該用 Endeavour。死啦！會唔會俾吉地彈打死？哇！俾吉地彈打死咗啊！好垃圾。
When you and the team are pitching a new product, Grammarly's tone suggestions can offer a more personable approach to win over a big client. Make a big impact on your team's success with Grammarly. Click the blue button to download Grammarly today.
Peoria Regional Championship, and we're going to be trying out and see how well it performs on this hard trickling team. This is a hard trickling team that got 10th place at the Peoria Regional Championship. We got Eruption Torkoal and a Big Gus Ursaluna that is able to do massive amounts of damage and also help support the Torkoal to help heal E-Tran. We have the two trickling setters with the Scream Tail and the Ferrigraph. The Ferrigraph is able to have Armor Tail to prevent the priority moves that can help damage the Torkoal under the trickling priority, but as well as like make out turns that get stolen out on trickling turns, which is really nice. Scream Tail is able to take attacks, especially with that Pro 6, especially defense boost against its Sun, as well as paired with the Intimidate from Star After, which is nice as well. Star After, a very key point of setting up trickling because it's really solid that final get option. You're able to potentially take trades using its HP stat that it currently has in order to trade off with with that choice scarf. You're able to outspeed those Pokemon and potentially just either pick the knockout or chip them away, so you get a free switch into your trickling center, and with that Intimidate you're able to have Scream Tail or Ferrigraph make the attack better to allow it to set up the trigger, which is nice. But also flying coverage is pretty good in the format. Braver does hit pretty hard. With that choice scarf, Braver can also be used as an enemy clear and used as a pivot out for a safer switch to Ursaluna or Torkoal under the trigger. Urshifu Dark is also really nice because it is a huge threat and can just do a lot of damage and doesn't care about protect with very strong wicked blows. If you'd like to check out the details of the team and the creator, they'll be linked in the description down below. Urshifu, Excalibur, Sneasler, Cerulege, Tornadus, and Brubonnet. Alright, this is a very unique team, I'll say that much. Where are the tricks? Is this like the Swagger Mirror stuff? Maybe it's just Lumbreon, the Sneasler, who knows? Staraptor's a pretty good pick here. I do want to go with the Staraptor, okay, maybe some Ferrigraph, or Screen Tap probably gets that Trick Room probably better just because of the fact that it does have the safety goggles here, which might prove useful. You want to go for that? I'm just worried because like Tornadus with Taunt is a factor. I don't know if this one is going to carry taunts, unfortunately, but I do think it's probably fine. Torkoal in the back, and I'm going to need the Ursaluna probably to break through that Cerulege, or I need Urshifu. One of the two is probably completely fine here. I think I want to go with the probably the Urshifu because it's a safer ground against the Cerulege, and Bitter Blade with a Sun Boost can do a lot. Also, if like the Cerulege starts setting up bulk ups, I think is probably like a better idea here. So we'll see how this performs. I am pretty interested on their sets. It's a very unique team choices that they have here, like the Excalibur, the Sneasler with no terrain. So probably want to expect a Lumberry or one of those Mirror Herb sets. Brubonnet, yeah, just a lot of picks we just don't see. Cerulege Brubonnet is going to lead here. All right. It's my Scream Tail and Star After right off the bat, so I will gladly take this. I get Intimidate off into the Cerulege. Bonnet's gonna have an attack drop. That wasn't clear amulet on the Cerulege, which is nice. Okay, cool. I think I'm just gonna go for a U-turn into the Blue Bonnet, and I will go for. I don't need Trick 'em Up immediately. It doesn't actually impact it here. I think I'm just gonna go for a Dazzling Gleam U-turn because I'm thinking I'm forcing the Brute Bonnet to maybe go for a Terra right here. I don't know if the Bonnet will carry Protect. It could be Rage Powder, Spore, or Dark Blue Grass move, which I think I've commonly see probably the most of. Some carry Protect, some don't. Maybe we force Terra out of the Bonnet immediately, which is completely fine. Maybe I can get an Urshifu and just stretch a Wicked Blow, but we are going to see a Terra be forced out immediately, which is nice. All right, into what? The bonnet is going to Terra, going to be the Terra Ghost. Okay. So I can go into Urshifu and I can click Wicked Blow. So looking pretty good here. I'd imagine they just try to spore the Screamtail, and I don't know what they're going to do with the Cerulege, but they could do whatever they want. So you turn off into the Brute Bonnet. This is because they probably just want to avoid the damage situation. And Wicked Blow is gonna clean up right here, it looks like right now. So bring out the Urshifu. Dazzling Gleam for Chip, because again, I don't need it. I hope they go for the Spore into... Okay, they go for Saurus Dance. That is completely fine, because I have Encore, so I'm not threatened by that. They do go for the Spore. They target down the Screamtail right here. Beautiful. I can go for a Wicked Blow into the Bonnet, and I can go for the Encore into the Cerulege. They go for Rage Power, that's completely fine. Shadow Sneak, not that big of a deal. It's gonna do a lot, but like, and I just Wicked Blow the Cerulege. I get 2 KOs potentially, so perfectly acceptable right here. Looks like, yeah, gonna be the case. I get the Wicked Blow off into the Brute Bonnet. Goodbye to Bonnets. That is a Wicked Blow from Dark Urshifu. Eliminated. Don't have to worry about any spores, Rage Power, Sucker Punches even. So that's very nice for my Star After. And Screamtail, because I didn't go for the Trick Room, I go for the Encore immediately. Didn't need the Trick Room in this position. Set it up for the Dark Urshifu since they had decently slow mons. And it looks like it's gonna pay off because, sure, you have a +4 Cerulege, but you're locked into that, and guess what? You can't Terra, and there is a Dark Urshifu ready to blow through that Cerulege right here. Doesn't matter how much armor you have. You might have weak armor even, but it'll be good enough right here. Let's see who they bring out next, because they're in a very tough position. I don't know what they can really do here. I just click Wicked Blow on the Cerulege, and depending on who they bring out is what I'll decide with Screamtail. Do I go for a Trick Room? Do I just go for a Dazzling Gleam for some chip? Maybe even just Helping Hand Wicked Blow cover the Cerulege switch. I do have to keep in mind that I do need to make sure that I do have an answer to Cerulege on deck, but then again, if they can't Terra, that means they're actually weak to Earth Power from my Torkoal. So the Cerulege can't even beat my Torkoal anymore. They go into Excalibur. All right. I'm gonna go for my Wicked Blow into the Cerulege, and might as well just Dazzling Gleam. It covers like every single switch that they could make, including like an Urshifu on their side. I get some damage in the Excalibur, that's super effective. I have a Star After in the back that can intimidate throughout. I also have the speed advantage, so like I always can get a KO. Looks like no switches. Wicked Blow just gonna break through that Cerulege easily through his armor. Goodbye, Excalibur. What are you doing? Source Dance, Dragon Dance. Attacking right here. What the heck? Why is that Excalibur so slow? Okay. Slower than my Screamtail. That's interesting. Scale Shot gonna come out. Most likely loaded dice, I'd imagine. Are they gonna get the 5 hits? Did they really just double crit me? Double crit 4 hits? Alright. Wasn't KO though. They do get the defense drop, speed rise. Are they in Sucker Punch range? They probably still under speed Star out. No, they definitely under speed Star after. Urshifu going to come out, which is going to be the Dark Urshifu, okay? And yeah, I don't see a problem right here. I'm just going to go for a Sucker Punch into the Excalibur, and I think I'm going to go for a Helping Hand. I think I'm just going to go for Dazzling with Terra Water, because if they want to double the screen touch, probably Ice Cold Spear Wicked Blow, I'd imagine. I don't resist Fairy, or I don't resist Dark anyway, because of part Psychic type, and sure, I quad resist I'm just trying to bring Star After and then just win the game here. That's basically the goal. So if Sucker Punch is a knock out the Excalibur, Dazzling Gleam will. Then again, Excalibur could go for some setups, I suppose. That would be a really aggressive read, but even... 都仲係好痛，嗰啲唔聽人廣告嘅。And I still have the Star After in the back, which is looking pretty good here. If it's Scarf or Shifu, it just goes down to Dazzling Gleam, and there's no way they knock out my Screamtail in one shot right here while setting up a Excalibur. So I'd be pretty safe to just go for this play because I'm either guaranteed the KO, I assume here. Sucker Punch is going to come out in Excalibur. Not enough for the knockout, but again, does put in Dazzling Gleam range. We do see the Ice Cold Spear, so perfect Terra Water here. I don't think I had anything. I was going to go for Terra anyway. Torkoal didn't need the power up Star After. I don't think this Terra on Star After was going to change anything. They get the 5 hit with the Ice Cold Spear. Let's see if they get the Wicked Blow. And let's see how much damage it does, because... Oh, they actually target down my Urshifu, actually. Interesting. Does pick up the knockout, but... I mean... Dazzling Gleam should pick up the knockdown buff unless it's Focus Sash. I'm actually a little bit surprised that we could blow KO since it's quad resisted with the crit, but yeah, we are able to knock out the Excalibur. Our Shifu is really low on HP right now, but pretty much now we just seal it up. We go into Star After here. We outspeed their team. Unless it's Scar for Shifu, which I don't think it's going to be the case. So we get intimidated off into the Shifu, but does not matter. We click Brave Bird, we click Dazzling Gleam, and seal up the game from there. So very nice. They tried to play around the final gambit immediately, and yeah, didn't fall for it. Got a position with Dark Urshifu beating the Terra Ghost, which I was not expecting the Terra Ghost, but it ended up working. I just brought in Urshifu against Saralege and Rubonnet, which were already good matchups. Even better because they Terra Ghosted, so all I had to do was Wicked Blow, and we were able to outspeed the Saralege, lock in the Swords Dance with Encore. So yeah, just didn't have to do anything. Don't always have to trigger them up in order to win the game here. Rillaboom, Hisuian Arcanine, Sneasler, Milotic, Farigiraf, and the King Gambit. What am I dealing with right here? Okay. So grassy terrain plus Sneasler, I suppose, with the Unburden Milotic for competitive. Actually, that is a pretty big running because Sneasler actually does do quite a bit of damage, so you are able to not intimidate if you're scared of Milotic. Could be pretty scary, and yeah, I do not want to intimidate that mon if I can help it. So yeah, this might be a bit of a tougher one. I think I want to probably go with I need to get rid of that Sneasler. That Sneasler is a problem. I think I want to leave Farigiraf plus her Shifu immediately and threaten a lot of offense because I can go for a Psychic into Sneasler immediately. I think I want to start her in the back, and the reason I want to have him in the back is because I want to be able to threaten if they lead Rillaboom plus Sneasler, I'm worried about if they double up into the Farigiraf, so I think I'd bring Star After so I can intimidate a little bit double up potentially. And the last one I think is 12 because I need the amount of offense against the Rillaboom, especially when I'm bringing the Ursaluna could technically do enough damage, I suppose. It might have actually been better because it can break through my Milotic a bit easier, but we'll see how this game goes. Definitely a lot of big threats right here. I'm a little bit worried about Rillaboom plus the combo of Milotic and Hisuian Arcanine is actually a pretty decent switch into me, so definitely a lot of threats right here. Not going to be an easy one for sure. We're going to see Sneasler or Rillaboom. Okay, so they did lead Sneasler plus Rillaboom. I do lead the Farigiraf plus Urshifu, and I don't know what they're going to go for here, but I am just going to go straight into my Star After and click a Psychic in the Sneasler right away. I could go for Trick 'em actually. That's not like too bad. The thing is, do I want to Trick 'em up? They got like a pretty decently slow team, and I brought some pretty fast mons. I don't think Torkoal auto sweeps either, so I think I'm just gonna go for a Psychic here into the Sneasler. Just get my KO and then go and Star After. If I need Trick 'em, I can potentially get Trick 'em up the next turn potentially. They can't fake me out because I have Armor Tail, so I'm pretty safe there. If they want to target down the Urshifu on my Star After, I guess be my guest. I guess that's all right. I should switch out also before the Rillaboom, so if they want to double out on my Milotic, like they would have to double out the Sneasler, which means they don't have the Grassy Seed anymore. I also dropped in Psychic plus Final Gambit, which should be pretty good to get to deal with the Milotic, so I should be all right there. Getting Intimidate off with the Star After, so I just cover a lot of bases, I think, with this play. We're going to see a Terra come out immediately, which I'm a little bit surprised about. Who's going to go for the Terra? Is it going to be the Sneasler immediately? Maybe the Sneasler immediately. Didn't expect them to burn their Terra that fast. Actually, it's poison, so might be just trying to get more damage possibly here. All right, that's fine. I think Iron Claw coming out. Giraffe. Yep. Tank it. Okay, high horsepower into the Giraffe. I guess I expected Terra Fire. I don't know about that play, but it works out for me. I get a Psychic off into Caesar. Because they have the Terra Poison, they don't get KO'd, but they actually did a bit more than I expected. I'm a little bit surprised about that. That ends up working out pretty well because now, and I just Psychic and I go for a Brave Bird, and like, what is their play here? I don't know. I'm just gonna go for that play. If they switch in Arcanine, sure. I don't think it's like too bad they switch into Arcanine. It's annoying, but it's like it's not game ending, I think, for the most part. I could Final Gambit to Rillaboom, but Rillaboom usually has more HP than Star After does, so I don't think it's worth it because they run max HP Rillaboom. We already see the Rillaboom retreat. This might be the Arcanine, which is fine. Yeah, so I could have got more damage off. It's not like too bad, I suppose. I guess maybe it's a little bit annoying if they do go on the for a Protect with Sneasler if they have it. But I think I could still play around this. Yeah, they do go for Protect. So good play on their part. I am regretting a little bit my choices here, but it's all right. Go for the Brave Bird into the Arcanine. And Psychic into Sneasler. Maybe I should have doubled up the Arcanine. I was really hoping to get the K on Sneasler. I also probably didn't need the K on Sneasler realistically. If I get Trick Room up, I probably could have just beaten the game with Torkoal actually. So I'm a little bit disappointed here with how I played this part. But I think it should still be fine in the long term. Do I need Dark Urshifu to win this? It's useful. Yeah, I think I want to keep it. So I think the best play here, Ross's not going to KO unless it's maybe like Choice Band with Arcanine. If they go for another Dire Claw, I think that just activates my Berry, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if I live the attack from Arcanine. I think if I want to chance, probably just get this up now and just Brave Bird KO the Sneasler, which I am going to make here. Let's see if it's going to work out. Dire Claw going to come out into the Staraptor this time. Okay. That is decently annoying. Alright. So I don't get the Sneasler. Oh, they have Head Smash and they go straight forward. Okay. Into the Giraffe. Actually, that's really annoying because if I get the Brave Bird off and the Sneasler, I don't have to worry about like any shenanigans into my Urshifu, and now I'm playing potential Extreme because combat game. Oh, that's actually really annoying. Okay, but if they have Head Smash, it's usually Choice Band, so I should be able to Wicked Blow here, but that is just like super unnecessary, what I didn't need here. But yeah, we can go for a Brave Bird here into the Sneasler, and I guess a Wicked Blow.
Hello， 我係 Pinky。上次去日本咧，我就帶咗呢一部 Sony 嘅 ZV-1 Mark II， 佢係一部入門嘅 Vlog 機嚟嘅，非常之輕身同埋細部，擺入去手袋就可以出街啦。今次呢一支鏡頭比上一代更加歪，有18至到50mm， 最大咧就去到1.8光圈。咁我而家一路咧都係用緊佢嘅智慧3單元收音咪，同埋開住咗 Active Mode， 咁大家就可以睇下佢嘅防震效果係點啦。佢仲支援實時嘅動物眼睛。
Blow. They're actually going to retreat to Sneasler, which I'm a bit surprised about. So what's coming in? Rillaboom. Okay, I Brave Birded that slot. I will gladly take that. Gladly take that.
Sacramento 我都未睇。
Stopping Checker did some pretty impressive damage that Ogre.
And looking at the leaderboards for Europe for the trainers that are leading the charge, I'm excited to see how this ship won, as Jake put it, as
yeah, I mean, it's kind of a hard thing to check since, you know, it's not like it's a persistent effect, right? You just need to be out there without wheezing.
Extremely risky. This Ninetales has.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a hard thing to check since, you know, it's not like it's a persistent effect, right? You just need to be out there without wheezing once. But something to think about where I know a lot of, Aaron's a little stronger than the average Ninetales gamer. But, you know, a lot of people just, like, you want to lead it almost every game, click a reveal, and then actually figure out how to play the match, which isn't necessarily going to work out here.
Yeah, lots of bulky Pokemon over here on Aaron's side, and a lot of Pokemon that are reliant on their abilities. Obviously, you know, you want to have that water absorb on your Ogerpon Wellspring. You want to be able to get the boost from Embody Aspect when you Terrasilize as well. Both of those are out if Weezing's on the field. Landorus wants to be able to Intimidate. That's out, which is huge for Pokemon like Roaring Moon on Kyle's side, which hates to be intimidated. King Gambit doesn't get to get its Defiant boost, no Flash Fire on Heater, and of course, like you mentioned, no Snow Warning on the Alolan Ninetales, no Aurora Veil until that Weezing is dealt with. And Weezing actually fully capable of dealing with the Fairy-type Ninetales.
Yeah, I mean, it's actually a really good matchup here. I think I'm really excited for that one. I feel like we pick cool Pokemon and then just like the matchup doesn't work. This is one where I think if Kyle's going to win this set, Weezing should be the star, so this should be a great match for us here.
Well, let's hop into game one of this best of 3 set. Landorus and Heatran the choices for Aaron, and Kyle's going to go ahead and lead that Weezing. The neutralizing gas has filled the field, removing the Intimidate from Aaron's Landorus, but the Ability Shield protecting Kyle's, like we said, which means that there is only one Landorus here at full attack, and that is Kyle's.
A nice little spot there, too. One interesting element of the Weezing here is we don't learn which Landorus is quicker like we normally would, but I guess in this case it's pretty clear because one of them is holding Choice Scarf and the other isn't, so something's going horribly wrong if the answer is not the Scarf Landorus.
Yeah, well, this is an interesting matchup here because Weezing actually would love to be able to get off a free Will-O-Wisp onto that Landorus, but has to be worried about just switching out with the U-turn. Heatran's just going to go ahead and protect itself from a potential stomping tantrum from Kyle, while Kyle is also going to protect Weezing himself, protecting that Pokemon from the incoming stomping tantrum from Aaron. Even after an Intimidate, that would still deal decent damage, but instead Kyle's going to U-turn out his Landorus back to its Pokeball, which means that Kyle has the option to continue cycling Intimidates against enemy Landorus here.
Kind of a cool spot too, where you get to use that U-turn after you watch the opposing Landorus lock into a move. So they're in like a super great position here. We see on his side of the field, you know, he has one Pokemon that resists ground type attacks and two Pokemon that are weak against it. So it's somewhat likely that Ogerpon and Landorus are going to join each other on the field at some point here, unless he's making a read of his own.
Well, Ogerpon out on the field for Kyle here. That is the Wellspring, so grass and water. Landorus having locked itself into the stomping tantrum. Ogerpon feels pretty safe here, especially staring down as well. Here. Very type, Terra type on Heatran, which has been rising in popularity. Could remove the weakness from the ice schedule on Ogerpon, but actually would open itself up to a jump shot from this Weezing.
That's what we all want to see, right? Weezing pick up some big KOs. One other cool thing to point out is as well typically do that mostly with the fire type. So different look, I think kind of figuring out the best use of Pokemon regulation.
And here is one of the interesting things about Weezing. You get to decide when you want abilities active and when you don't. So Kyle is actually switching out Weezing and bringing in Landorus again, cycling another Intimidate onto Aaron's Landorus, going to drop it down even further and give Ogerpon the ability to now go for a terrestrialization of its own and get that embody aspect boost.
That's critically getting the stat boost here, and yeah, the Ogerpon's got a pretty interesting matchup right now. No longer has to worry too much about the Landorus, so it's just removed its own ground type resistance.
Removed the resist, but got another Intimidate down.
Yeah, and a pretty safe spot to go for a Swords Dance if he wants to.
Yeah, well, there is the Embody aspect boosting the special defense of that Ogerpon, now a pure water type, and there is the Fairy Terrestrialization coming out from Heatran, protecting itself from an Ivy Cudgel from this Wellspring, Ogerpon Wellspring. Another Stomping Tantrum from Landorus, actually going into the switch in Landorus, so trying to target down the Weezing, but Ogerpon deciding to eliminate the effects of that Intimidate that just now went off. It's now at +1 attack and special defense, and you can see how little damage this Heatran is doing. Crucially, no Life Orb there, which means no damage.
Yeah, with the help of that Weezing, this Ogerpon is in a fantastic spot now. Got a very free Sword Stance. It's threatening a ton of damage on both these Pokemon. That Terrestrialization from Heatran not looking like it makes too big of a difference. And the Landorus slot can't protect here. Stopping Tantrum not going to be super devastating to the other side of the field. So Ogerpon's going to get a pretty free swing. And I think that Heatran's important to watch. You know, committing the Terra already. We do know that there is an Iron Hand in the back. We'd like to remove that Heatran just want to gain. You don't want to get caught with those two Pokemon together at the end of the match. It should be a plus for Aaron to preserve anything facing down with Ogerpon.
Yeah, one of the great benefits of that Fairy Heatran is being able to defend against Pokemon like Iron Hand. You see the double power of Stomping Tantrum coming up big there to actually deal good damage to this Ogerpon, but a critical hit from the Ivy Cudgel. That is going to pick up 1-hit KO on that Heatran.
You like to see it, and there you go. Kind of impressed by the Landorus damage there. That's a lot for a doubly intimidated.
It was angry. It was not happy with how this game has been going.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be either, because four Landorus is still stuck on the field. One of Iron Hand and Weezing now going to come in, and just looking like a very nice spot there.
Well, Weezing coming back in here, neutralizing gas is back on the field. Actually does kind of put Kyle in a little bit of an awkward spot here. Does not want to reactivate the Intimidate from that opposing Landorus. It means that Weezing probably wants to stay on the field at least until that Landorus is dealt with or switched out.
Yeah, I think it'd be cool to see what Aaron brings in now, where if it is a Pokemon is capable of helping out by threatening a knockout out of this Ogerpon, then you have Landorus facing down the Weezing other spot. You really force Kyle's hand.
Yeah, and having the Weezing in here is a good proactive play. Kyle chose to lead the Weezing, so definitely falling back on that Pokemon to slow Aaron down. You know, no option for Ninetales to come in here and set the hail and potentially get an Aurora Veil off. Again, with Weezing out there, no snow on the field for this Ninetales.
HP 努力值嗰個
anxious spot here.
仲要 HP 努力值嗰個睇 Therapy 係。
Careful if you are Aaron.
我周圍執垃圾執
not allow a knockout without switching Landorus out of the field. You know, Stomping Chance is some pretty impressive damage that
其他果係可以
in a situation where you're
喺
locked
啲唔
into
知
is
咩
one
位
of your
嗰
final
度
two
係咁執垃
Pokemon.
圾執
The
翻
liners think this feels going to be last.
因為嗰個果
Well,
係
that stomping tantrum did good
我
damage,
firm 咗
but
隊
only because
差
they
唔
got the
多啦
double boost. So
微調
not
緊
going to
啲
be
招
dealing
嗰
anywhere
啲
close
或
to
者
well,
係
actually
咯
will
微
be
調緊
dealing
啲
half
招
as
咯
much damage this time around. So you
招
see
算唔
Aaron
算微調啊？
withdrawing
其
the
實招
Landers,
firm 喎。
protecting that Pokemon, saving Intimidate for later, hopefully. But Iron Hand switching it in
我就
front of
唔知，
Oweezing.
因為我見
Extremely
我對
risky.
手
This
就
Ninetales has to
平
go on
時
the
同
offense.
埋
No
佢之前嗰
Aurora
啲
Bill. But Ogerpon
喺
just
YouTube 佢
doesn't
冇乜
care.
佢
Ivy
Twitter 上
Cudgel
面
after
冇乜
shrugging
鋪
off
過
that
貴
freeze
同
drive
我
thanks to the embody
爆
aspect boost. Big damage on
我
the
喺
Ninetales. Ring
YouTube
the
上
bell.
面
That's a one hit
刮
KO
佢
on
名都
Ninetales.
係走翻啱前啦，佢打 World Cup 嘅時候。
The swings have been huge.
跟住佢到你由上年 World Cup 開始，然後到啱打嗰場，全部都係用順風隊嘅。
Weezing and its friends
咁
really
我覺
showing
得
a dominant
我呢
performance
隊
so
就
far in
冇
this
乜
game
問
one.
題嘅。
Yeah, Weezing
除
just
非
shutting
佢
off any option that Aaron
特登
has
突然轉
of getting
態走
momentum
去玩
rolling.
其他隊啦。如
Landers
果唔
has to come in here. Landers has to lock into a move
in
for
case
the
佢
remainder of
見
the
我
game.
上個禮拜裝大有大魚啊
Otherwise,
嗰
Landers
啲
just
地
loses
談
to
見
Kyle.
我裝，
Which means that this Weezing's actually
你
feeling
叫我有
safe
靠
down
基隆
Landers
嗰
with
啲
the burned Iron Hand now. Has the ability to burn the opposing
嗰個
Landers
星
and
期
then
我星期日打，佢應該唔打 Lily 啊。
Yeah, I mean, it's just a tough
我星期日打。
Again, even if Weezing switches out of that on, allows his Intimidate to activate.
我哋禮拜日
Pokemon raining.
咁啊，我哋6個鐘啊，我要去6個即係佢嗰度3點，係咯，佢都唔打 Lily。
But actually just a double protect here to blow the fake out from Iron Hand. Not going to give Aaron any way back into this game.
佢應該，所以佢今個禮拜應該唔打呢張。
Weezing does not hurt its nice little hands on those spikes. And
我
actually
係隻炮依家係 Magical Flash，
this Iron Hand is
Magical
going to have to knock out
Flash
this
10分前就拉收啦。
Seems
我
like
就
a
係諗
pretty
住
tall
如果佢
order. He's
順
one of the
風
best
隊
Pokemon in the format here.
Yeah, I mean, it's a super free situation.
我覺得針我咁樣佢針我招制隊塞咗隻奇龍落嚟咯，拉收都可以俾我落嚟。
Yeah, Weezing should be
同埋
able
佢
to
富
show
豪，
off the
如果我有拉收咗佢咁
especially
啊。
after an Intimidate here because the ability shield again protecting Weezing from damage on the opposite side. Aaron did find a way to boost the damage though this time. We'll get another double power stomping tantrum next turn.
同埋拉收，我覺得
Burn for his trouble. Both burn physical attackers.
呢啲壓力必定
I'm sorry, buddy. That's just not going to be it.
當使話係一個劇最大
Taking more damage in the burn and the recoil lifted to that Weezing.
Yeah, trainers at home aren't super familiar with Weezing stats, and I can understand why you wouldn't be. It's a lower HP Pokemon, but really high defense. That could be, there was a period where it was actually a very annoying Pokemon to fight in singles because of that. We're just going to wall you out and burn everything. And Aaron sees the writing on the wall there. Weezing helps clinch a victory in Game 1 for Kyle.
Yeah, Game 1 there for Kyle Livinghouse here in round 3, and look, I
就
know it's
冇話
because
一定
I
打唔
really
贏
enjoy
嘅，
playing
除
with
非
this
佢
Pokemon,
鼠
but
喉雙
Weezing
超，
really did
然
a
後再加
lot
埋
of
大
work.
細
And
魚咧，咁
actually,
我
the
係
ability
咁
shield
猜拳我
on
出人
Landorus
嘅
did。as well. That's something that, you know, I don't know that I necessarily thought would be that great, but it really showed up big in this round. Being able to get those Intimidates off when Kyle needed them, protecting his Pokemon, and also being able to get that Swords Dance boost and the Embody Aspect boost onto the Ogerpon Wellspring wasn't a whole lot for Aaron to do at that point.
Yeah, the game kind of just fell over, right? Where as soon as that Sword Dance happened, I feel like a couple turns beforehand, it was just such a difficult position. And I really love this team composition.
鼠喉啊，但係我唔
There
expect
is
佢
the
見到
one
鼠
hit
喉
KO
啊
on
嘛。
the critical hit Ivy Cudgel, getting the Heatran off the field crucially because Heatran was the only Pokemon that could really deal a lot of damage since Kyle was able to cycle Intimidates and Will-O-Wisp. Another one-hit KO on the Ninetales. Didn't get the snow up at all. No Aurora Veils, just did a pittance of damage to the Embody
都得
Aspect
嘅，首先
Ogerpon
雙先
and
制為主
really
嘅
strong
啫。
showing there. Obviously, Ogerpon picking up the KOs. Weezing not known for picking up
揾
big
啲嘅
KOs,
咪
but did so much work to
希
set
望
up the
project
Ogerpon for that game.
Yeah, I really like the team construction here, right? Where sometimes we see Weezing teams as like a little bit gimmicky, right? Where you know, in the past we've seen it next to things like Regigigas, right? And it's like, well, it's a Pokemon you would never use, but it becomes much stronger next to Weezing. What I think is cool about this team is that it's still 4 of the Pokemon here, maybe the 4 best Pokemon in the format, right? You've got the Ogerpon, the Fluttermane, the Iron Hands, the Landorus. They're all a little bit better in the context of the team than they would normally be, either because of opposing abilities being shut off, or Landorus' case, using an uncommon item to be much stronger in the mirror, especially. I think there's the Roaring Moon, who I think has always been maybe a little bit better than Weezing. Synergizes very well with Weezing, and Apple's having just got better to begin with in regulation.
Yeah, Weezing does a lot to protect the Roaring Moon, which we may see later on, but lots of big stats on Kyle's side. Just, those big balls of stats of these Paradox Pokemon. Not afraid to run over Aaron's team. Pokemon doing big damage as well once it got a boost. Ninetales and King Gambit out on the field, and here it is. Did you ever think you would see a -1 attack King Gambit?
The turn lucky, you called it, and here it is.
Yeah, so Intimidate goes off onto King Gambit. No Defiant boost because of the neutralizing gas.
哇，佢好好人啊，佢用自己嗰度奶喎。
because of the neutralizing gas as well. However, this is a much better type matchup for Aaron's Pokemon here than it was in Game 1.
Yeah, I really like this setup where in this one at least there's a lot of pressure being placed onto the Landorus. I just not have the choice directly up the sleeve, and actually be very wary of this Ninetales is dunking it. Weezing on the other hand in a much better spot. You could use a poison type attack at the Ninetales or try to burn the King Gambit, but I think a much nicer play this time for Aaron, and he's leading a situation where he's going to be able to control the beginning of the game a little bit better.
Yeah, this may be a situation where we also see the Fire Terra type on King Gambit come into play. Weezing is not able to go for a Will-O-Wisp safely on that Pokemon, so he's just going to potentially go on the offensive here as Lander switches out for Fluttermane making an appearance here. Fluttermane was top of the charts for all of last season, but has fallen a little bit down. Still extremely powerful. And it's actually going to be the Ghost Terra type coming out from Ninetales. Scared off by the Weezing Gunk Shot potential coming out from Kyle's side.
Weezing forcing a defensive Terastallization. It's not something you see every day.
Yeah, and that Freeze Dry connects on Fluttermane and does not deal a lot of damage. And the Gunk Shot lands. Big damage onto that Ninetales. Of course, Ghost type does resist the Poison type, which means that Ninetales is actually sitting pretty safe here, and King Gambit takes this opportunity to get the Sword Stance off. So now we are at the point we usually see King Gambit at +1, but crucially no Terra. Terra has
as you mentioned before, there was the threat previously of it Terastallizing to stop that Will-O-Wisp. Now that Ninetales has committed the Terastallization, Weezing's able to go for the Will-O-Wisp in that slot. Landorus could potentially come back in, get another Intimidate down, bizarrely. It's a pretty good situation. Not to mention, that Fluttermane switch looks really good. We mentioned the ball of stats on this team. Fluttermane's special defense is much higher than his defense, so getting to use the entire defensive stat and now threatening a super effective Ghost-type attack into this now Ghost-type Ninetales, he's forced to flee.
Yeah, has to run away in the face of Fluttermane and Weezing. Iron Hands comes out to replace. That is going to put some potential fake-out pressure in the future. King Gambit just going to protect, trying to protect itself from a Will-O-Wisp. So Aaron setting up a position where this King Gambit may be able to get off and attack without fear of Will-O-Wisp by using the fake-out from Iron Hands. As the Will-O-Wisp does connect into that protection. A little bit of damage, a little bit of chip damage from that Shadow Ball on the Fluttermane.
So the King Gambit will get the swing here finally, where Iron Hand switching in here now threatens a fake out into the Weezing, the one Pokemon this update can protect. You can't fake out the Fluttermane, but it's not threatening too much damage. We saw Shadow Ball kind of doing surprisingly little to this Iron Hand. This is a Choice Specs Fluttermane, so King Gambit sitting pretty here. Can't get a boost from its special defense, or a special defense drop increasing its attack, but at least doesn't have to worry about damage too much. Unfortunately, its damage is also going to be reduced as Lander is coming in, weirdly, successfully hitting another Intimidate on this King Gambit, reducing its attack back to the base level, and now Iron Hands to -1.
Yeah, Weezing out here forcing this King Gambit to play honest, takes the Intimidate from the Landorus on the switches, but Aaron recognizes the potential there, goes for another Sword Stance. That means that King Gambit is back at +2. So sitting pretty well here. The ability to actually deal some good damage if it's able to launch an attack at either of these Pokemon. Fake Out has been used, which means that Weezing will be able to get off a Will-O-Wisp, so maybe some protection damage.
Yeah, I think it's all about turns from now, right? Where this is a situation where Iron Hand's not really threatening any damage. This Pokemon, the Will-O-Wisp is really obvious. There's not a way to stop it. You kind of have to protect King Gambit, bring something in, threaten a little bit more, because Iron Hands isn't really going to trade anything for getting that King Gambit turn. He tends to usually take more when it's a very difficult cyclic matchup.
All right, Ninetales back out on the field again. Aaron is trying to set up the ability to get that Aurora Veil up and also threaten the Landorus. But Kyle is just dancing around this, switches the Landorus back out, keeps the Intimidate cycle alive. And of course, crucially selecting the U-turn into the Iron Hands, which is protecting that Kyle definitely was going to be able to switch out the Landorus to cycle those Intimidates over and over and over and over again.
Yeah, we're really seeing Apollo keep in this corner. Fluttermane is going to be what comes out here. I thought that was pretty clear. clear one where it's up pinning the Ninetales. We're back to the situation on the floor. The Will-O-Wisp going to miss on the King Gambit, but now what, right? Where Quartermain, chest, Ninetales, Weezing facing down. There's King Gambit still going to dish out a whole bunch of damage if it gets to attack, but assuming Will-O-Wisp lands, that's going to be a problem for the rest of the game.
Yeah, well, we are now in Sucker Punch Shenanigans world. Does this Bloodermane attack, or is it just going to switch back out and cycle Intimidate? That is for Aaron to decide. Kyle gets to make that choice here, whatever he wants to do, and just fire off these Will-O-Wisps.
Yeah, it's two Pokemon that really don't want to be freeze-dried in the back, too. So if you go for the gamble and you hit it, could be big. Both of them 4 times weak against freeze-dry specifically, if not ice-type attacks.
Yeah, so Ninetales putting off a lot of pressure here. Landorus comes back in. Goes for the switch to try and take a little bit of control over the damage of this King Gambit. Goes for the Sucker Punch, does not work because of the switch. But this Ninetales actually just going for an Icy Wind, not calling the Freeze Dry. Goes for big Icy Wind damage onto the Landorus and a little bit onto the Weezing as well. And of course dropping Landorus' speed. But this means that Weezing finally gets to launch this Will-O-Wisp into King Gambit. And while King Gambit's going to be able to make up that that attack drop with Swords Dances over time. Really what Kyle's been missing out has been this chip damage on that King Gambit. Still healthy, just took its first tick of burn damage here.
Yeah, I kind of don't mind that Icy Wind, by the way. I mean, even though, yeah, you get the knockout if you went for the Freeze Dry. The trade-off in this situation is you can kind of just keep Icy Winding now. This is a very free Swords Dance for King Gambit just to get that back now because Weezing's not threatening any damage and Ninetales can check Landorus on its own. And then, you know, if one of these other Pokemon switch into battle instead, Ninetales kind of maintains that speed advantage by Icy Winding them as they come in. So, this Ninetales probably not going to be dishing out a ton of damage, but it's actually in a pretty nice spot.
Yeah, this Ninetales is actually, like you mentioned, exerting so much pressure on the Pokemon in the back. It got in for free here alongside a boosted King Gambit. And just keep firing off Icy Winds while Kyle is trying to keep this King Gambit under control by cycling Intimidate. Freeze Dry, actually no Icy Wind here, just going to deal a little bit of damage back to that Fluttermane, and another Swords Dance comes out from the King Gambit. Keeping itself boosted, does now have a little bit extra damage, but a taunt coming out from the Weezing means that there will be no more Swords Dances to come. That Icy Wind actually allowing King Gambit to sneak in an extra Swords Dance.
Yeah, actually matters a lot. I mean, I'm a little surprised we didn't see another one, but slowly building this damage up on this Fluttermane. Again, in a situation where it's not like it's running against the King Gambit anyway, so the turn order may not matter that much here. And yeah, I mean, it's just fun watching this King Gambit get severe Swords Dance over and over, where a taunt to stop Swords Dance is not a normal play, but very necessary there because this King Gambit just could have been entirely uncontested this match other than the burn.
Yeah, and this is one of the struggles that Weezing sometimes faces. It is a little bit of a momentum sink. This Weezing burned the King Gambit, got the taunt off. Now it doesn't really do a whole lot. The Steel typing making it immune to the gunshot. The Ghost typing making Ninetales resistant to the gunshot. Not a whole lot for Weezing here, but actually Ninetales going to switch out as Landorus switches in, and Iron Hands is back on the field, dodging the Intimidate from the
咁雖然冇人啦，都係講翻兩番嘢。如果中意我直播嘅就撳翻下 like，同埋撳翻下 subscribe，咁撳埋隔離啷啷。如果有出片或者直播通知，咁就可以快啲用準時收睇。